It's me, Sankara, as you guys all know. This video, we're going to be talking about pronunciation. I'm making this video in response to requests I've received from several subscribers. So, this lesson is going to deal entirely with pronunciation. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, as always, we always start with our three objectives. The first thing we're going to do is take a look at non-nasal vowels. The second, nasal vowels. And the third, consonants. So I'll explain what that means in the upcoming slides. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and read this text. This will be our the text that we'll be referring to, Papa Nou, which you guys are probably familiar with, is Our Father. So this will be the text that we'll be using to practice a pronunciation. So without further ado, starting from verse 9. And something I want to say, I want to make this clear. I'm reading at normal speed or close to normal speed to give you guys an idea of what it should sound like. Please do not concern yourselves with trying to match my speed or pronunciation, at least initially. Okay, eventually you guys want to get to the point where you can do that, but this is just to give you guys an example. So, verse 9. Papa nou ki nan siel la, nou mande pou yo toujou respekte nou. Vin tabli gouvernement ou, pou yo fe volonté ou sou la terre, tan kou yo fe nan siel la. Manje nou bezwan, ban nou li jodi ya, pardonen tout mal nou fe, même jan nou pardonen moun ki fe nou mal. Pa kite nou nan posisyon pou nou tombe nan tentasyon, men délivre nous en bas Satan. So that is the text read at normal speed. And again, we'll be revisiting the text throughout the duration of the lesson, so do not worry. Now we're going to go ahead and break this down, starting with the non-nasal vowels. The first letter we have is let a. So you guys can please listen and repeat. Verse 9, we have papa, papa. Next we have, in the same line, la, la. Verse 10, we have tabli, tabli. Verse 12, we have the word mal, mal. Verse 13, we have pa, pa. Pa kite. So pa kite, that means do not allow, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Let a. Let a. We only have two words in here. Two examples. We have the letter E in isolation. We have in verse 13, kite, kite. And then in the second line of that same verse, délivrer, délivrer. Let E, verse 9, ki, ki. In this case, ki means who. Verse 10, vin, vin. And then we have tabli, tabli. Verse 11, we have li, li. Subject pronoun li. Well, actually, in this case, it is the pronoun it. Okay, li. 13, we have kite, kite, which means allow. And then 13, the second line of that same verse, we have délivrer, délivrer, which means to deliver. Let all. Verse 9, second line, we have yo, yo, which means they or them. Verse 10, second line, we have yo again, yo. And then the same thing, no need to repeat the word. Okay, so we have yo. Now remember the word yo changes according to the context. So for example, let me see. Yo can either be a pronoun or it can be used to make things plural. But in this particular case, yo means they. Okay? The sound oo is always represented with the letters OU. So do not try to segment them or divide them. This is always pronounced as one sound, which is why we consider this as one vowel. So at 9, verse 9, we have nu, nu, papa nu. So in this case, it is our father, papa nu. Next, second line, verse 9, we have 3 words. Pu, which means for. Next we have toujours, meaning always. And then we have ou. In that particular case, ou means your. Non ou means your name. Okay, 10 we have ou, again, possessive pronoun, but it comes after the word gouvernement. So we'll get into that pronunciation later. But it means your government or your reign. Next, we have pou again, pou. And next we have, in the second line, verse 10, sous la terre. Okay, on earth. Sous means on, la terre means earth. And then all the way down in the 12th verse, second line, we have mun. So something important to note is that the vowels A and O, or E and O in English, change whenever the accent grave appears above the letters. So it is customarily pronounced as I previously stated. E is usually pronounced as A, but when written with an accent grave, it is A, as in get or jet. Instead of the E or that A sound as in day, it's going to change to this E sound as in get or jet. And then we have letter O, which is usually pronounced as the O as in go, but when it's written with an accent grave, it is pronounced as A as in job or knob. So we can see examples of this in the text. We have ciel, ciel. We also have the word fait, fait, which means to do. And then we have the word that we've seen before in the previous slide, which was la terre, la terre. We also have this word jodia, which is often written, or more often than not, written without the accent, so please keep that in mind. So we have jodia, which means today, jodia. Let a ak o. So letters, same letters that we're focused on, continue. So this is a note just to speakers of French in particular. In Creole, the French vowel plus letter R combination is replaced with E with an accent, and O with an accent. So we can see exactly what I'm talking about with these examples that we have here. We have the word faire, faire. In French, that letter is going, or that word is going to become fait. Next we have la terre, la terre, and that letter, that sound, that ER sound is just going to become E with that accent. And that happens all the time, without exception. So we're going to see some other examples. We have zafé, zafé, and that the original word in French is les affaires with an R. We also have the word l'autre, l'autre, that becomes l'autre. And then we have sœur, which is pronounced as sœur. So just something to keep in mind. If you don't speak French, it's okay. But this will definitely help you with acquiring vocabulary if you are a French speaker. Next, and actually, if I could just go back to that slide just for a second, a quick note to French speakers, please, please do not pronounce the words as you would pronounce them in French. I know it's tempting, and it's probably a mistake that you'll be making, at least initially, but you will still be understood, but there's some implications with pronouncing Creole as you would French. It kind of gives you, there's a lot of classism. So that being said, if you speak these words with a French accent, you'll still be understood, but it can be possibly misinterpreted as you putting on an air. Moving on, we have nasal vowels. So nasal vowels in Creole have no English equivalent. If you're familiar with French, you'll have no problem with this. Now this OUN, I'm not really sure about this, to be 100% honest. I've always had the understanding that there are 3, but other sources say there are 4. But for our intents and purposes, we're going to focus on the first 3 nasal vowel sounds, which is on, an, on, and n, which is en. Okay. So quick note: unlike French and Creole, the combination in is not a nasal vowel, and we'll see that when we go back to the text. So first nasal vowel, an, on. Verse 9, we have the word non. Non ciel, in the sky, or ciel can be sky or heaven. So in this case, it is obviously heaven. Next, we have monde, monde, which means to ask. Monde. Next, we have gouvernement, gouvernement. Now we can see that en is a nasal vowel, but is not pronounced as a nasal vowel in this case, and we'll be talking about that in an upcoming slide. Gouvernement. Next, we have tant que, as in English. Tant que. Tant que means as. Next, we have manger. Manger. Manger can be food, or it can be to eat. Next, we have Jean. In verse 12, second line, we have Jean. Jean. And in 13, second line, or last line, I should say, we have 2 words. En bas, and Satan. Satan. Next, voyelle un. Going to verse 11, okay. Verse 11, besoin, besoin. 12, we have pardonner, pardonner. Voyelle on, Voyelle on. So O-N. Verse 9, second line, we have non. Now it can either be N-O-M, nom, or N-O-N, non. They both mean the same thing. In this case, it is non, which means name. Verse 10, second line, we have volonté, volonté, which means will. 13, we have position, position. Then we have tomber, tomber. And then finally we have tentation, tentation, which is temptation. Okay? So, nasal vowels continued. Something to note, nasal vowels change in the following cases. 1, when followed by the letters M or N, and 2, when there's an accent grave. When there's an accent grave present, that sound is going to change. It's going to lose its nasal quality. So we can see some examples, and I have the IPA phonetic pronunciation. IPA means International Phonetic Alphabet. If you're not familiar with that, very helpful tool for particularly when we're talking about trying to find out the exact pronunciation of something, because this is, again, the phonetic representation. So we have some examples. We have the word ensemble, ensemble, okay? In French, that word is ensemble, ensemble. English, it is together. That's the translation. Next, we have même, même, okay? One more time, même. And it means the same thing as it does in French, same or even. Or although, it's another possibility. Next, we have gouvernement, gouvernement. And the translation is government. So we have en and m. Some more examples, or another example from this text in particular. We have the word mem, the word mem. Okay, so it's not anything else but what I just said, which is mem. So that's how you pronounce it. Now we have consonants. Consonants in Haitian Creole for English speakers is pretty straightforward. There are just a couple of them that are, there's only one sound that has no English equivalent. The others are just have the same sound but are written differently. So we have CH. The combination CH in Haitian Creole is going to be pronounced as sh, sh, as in she. So whenever you see that sound, it's going to be sh. So for example, bouche. There is no ch sound in Haitian Creole. That English sound does not exist. Next we have the letter J. Always pronounced as S, as in measure. As in measure. So we have jodia, jodia, which is today. It is not jo, it's je, jodia. And it's always pronounced like that. Next we have the letter R, has no English equivalent. This is the one sound in Haitian Creole, or the one consonant sound that does not exist in English. So we have respecter, respecter. And that means to respect. So we're going to go ahead and try to read this entire text again from start to finish. First, one time slow, and then we're going to read it at normal speed. Let's start. Verse 9. Papa nous, qui nan ciel là, nous mande pour yo toujours respecter non ou. vin tabli gouvernement ou pour yo fait volonté ou sous la terre, tant que yo fait non ciel là. Manger nous besoin. Manger nous besoin. Ban nous li jodi a. Pardonnez tout mal nous fait. Même gens nous pardonner moun qui fait nous mal. Pas quitter nous dans position pour nous tomber dans tentation. Mais délivrez-nous en bas Satan. One more time, we'll be reading this at regular speed. Papa nous qui dans ciel là, nous mandé pour yo toujours respecter nous, vin tabli gouvernement ou, pour yo faire volonté ou sur la terre, tant que yo fait dans ciel là. Manger nous besoin, ban nous les jodi a, pardonnez tout mal nous fait, même gens nous pardonner monde qui fait nous mal. Pas quitter nous dans position pour nous tomber dans tentation, mais délivrez-nous en bas Satan. That is it. I want to thank you guys for listening. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, please subscribe. And this is going to be it for our lesson. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me. And I will be back with lesson 5 hopefully shortly. I apologize for the little break. I know it had been a while since my last video, but I tried to make them more regularly. So again, thanks for your support. Until next time, this is Sankara signing off. Peace.